Today we're going to deal with our waste stream. Now in most cases, if you can't tie into the municipal sewer system, which has a whole host of its own problems, the only legal option is to get a septic tank, even though they claim other systems are legal, at least here in Hawaii. The only problem with septic tanks are that they cost an arm and a leg, and they're really not that great. Just another example of bureaucrats dictating things that they know nothing about. There are other low-cost, environmentally friendly ways to deal with your waste, but they're not exactly always legal. Sometimes you just have to break the law to do what is right. But of course you got to be careful. I just had a viewer reach out to me recently and said a neighbor called the code enforcement officer on them, and now they're facing a whole host of problems. Doing what's right can have consequences. It's kind of like what renowned farmer Joel Salatin said once. Everything I want to do is illegal. Ain't that the truth, man? So if you're okay with that, one such solution that you may want to think about for your homestead is the biogas digester. Not only is it a way to deal with your waste, but it also produces a gas that you can cook with or heat your water with. And these days with propane shortages, you need alternatives that you can produce locally. So today we're going to visit the homestead of Paige and Kyson, and they're going to show us around their biogas digester. So let's take it away, Paige.
So our homestead is 3 acres. Then it was pretty much just a rough driveway and jungle. So I've been just slowly working, hand clearing for the most part, and planting as I can. And when we were trying to think about what we were going to do for our waste, septic was pretty much out of reach because it was just too expensive. So it was either a biogas or composting toilet. And we had been using a composting toilet for maybe like 4 years at that point. And I was just kind of done, ready to try something new. So we invested in the HomeBioGas. And from this, we can get fertilizer, treats our waste, and burnable gas. It wasn't too hard to set up. The instructions are pretty easy. I would say the hardest part was filling it up with water, because you need to fill it with about 450 to 500 gallons of water. And at that point, when we were setting it up, we didn't have our catchment or, no water sources around here. So we had to borrow a friend's IBC tote, and that took a couple of trips. We catch water on this roof on the bathroom into a 35-gallon trash barrel. So that feeds the toilet. The one that they sell with the kit is actually just a marine toilet. So it works with a pump so that you can pump in water and then pump out your waste into the system. I suppose you could set it up with like a more regular flush toilet, but the disadvantage would be using more water, because with this system it uses just over 1 liter per flush. This patch of non-wild bananas, I do not give it any fertilizer whatsoever. No commercial fertilizer, just strictly everything from the HomeBioGas. As you put waste in and you pump it out into the bag right here and it breaks it down, it's matching what you put into it and pushing it out.
So you never have to go in there by hand and dig out any of that human manure and put it on your plants.
No, so the way that this bag was designed, it creates a minimal amount of sludge in the bag. And the lifespan of them, at least this version, the new, older one, is about 15 years. So within that time, it's not going to fill up and you'll never have to clean it out.
And how long have you been using this system?
We set this one up about 2.5 years ago. So the cons with this first version, with the UV light, the sunlight, there have been some instances of the seams busting. So the bladder on the inside is exposed and sometimes tears. In that case, from what I've seen in the biogas owners groups I'm in, biogas seems to be pretty helpful in remedying that and fixing it. So with the newer version of the 2.0, they actually changed the fabric and they made it all black. And it's the new fabric that they've used is supposed to hold up a lot better to the UV light. So if you're looking at getting a HomeBioGas, you won't even get this particular system. They say it doesn't smell, but there is always like a slight smell. From everyone else I've talked to that has these systems, even if they're not using it for the human manure, they say that it does have a little bit of a smell. Nothing too major, but if you're not used to farm life, it might bother you. So it's kind of like composting. Composting is done through aerobic digestion and takes several months, but this is broken down with anaerobic digestion. So the bacteria eat up your waste, get rid of the pathogens through the process, and the byproduct is the methane gas that's in this bladder on top of the bladder where your waste goes to be treated, and the effluent that comes out.
Okay, so this top portion is filled with gas.
Yes, this is completely full with biogas. And
If it wasn't full, it would be deflated.
yes, it would be pretty
Okay.
flat. So
And then down here, this is where all the waste is.
this is where all the waste is. This is the part you fill with 400 or 500 gallons of water to start it, and bacteria to get it activated.
And this is an air vent. Oh no, that's where the gas.
That's the gas release valve, right?
So
when it's
what's
full.
happening is that the gas accumulates at the top of this bladder.
Yeah.
It goes up this pipe, it goes into here, and then it goes into this bladder to store it. And then it's got sandbags on top to create the pressure without a pump. And then any excess gas that overfills this comes out of here.
Yeah.
So that's the smell that you might smell for once in a
Okay.
while is actually off-gassing.
So here's the system, and you have the water line on top. Is that
Yep.
true?
Yep.
Water line's on top, and then the waste line is the white line that heads out
And they'll
to the
tell you-
biogas system here. Like that, right?
Yeah,
So
and
it
they'll
just-
tell you in the directions that they want it to rise
Uh,
and then go down before it goes into the biogas. So on the outside wall, they include a little horseshoe valve with like a little
yeah, like
so
the
that it goes
laundry.
up and then back down into the.
Create that little air vent for the fumes. Yeah.
We don't cook in here, but this is the stove that it came with. So it comes with a hose to run your stove away from the biogas unit. So we just have it set up in here right now. It does work. So it'll light up and give you a flame.
So that is flame generated from your waste.
Yes.
That
what-
is
yeah.
Pretty cool stuff.
It is
Right?
cool.
Like
Yeah.
that's
Really, what we plan to do with it though is we're getting ready to switch out this propane on-demand water heater, and we're ordering a biogas heater from China. So we are gonna run the biogas instead of into the stove into a water heater, and then we're gonna heat our shower.
Genius.
So
Yeah.
our bathroom will
it
just
won't
be
reach.
a
It won't
whole.
reach the kitchen where we want to cook. So
Yes.
we use it for hot
So we'll
water.
use
A
it
lot
for
of
hot
people
water.
have issues with the
Yeah.
fact of cooking with their poop.
Yes, exactly.
But turning it into a way to heat your water, I think we
Yeah.
could all
How
get
could
aboard
anyone
that,
complain?
right?
Yeah, it's-
Wow, that's some pretty amazing stuff. You mean you can get a toilet that costs 10 times less than a compost toilet? It flushes with water. It can produce gas that you can cook food with or heat water with. And it also fertilizes your plants. It's like, what's not there to love, right? And Paige, I really got to thank you for showing off this system today.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people out there are really curious about these systems, so thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, it's been pretty great living out here where we don't have access to all the services you might in other parts of the world. So it's worked really well for us and definitely met our needs.
Wow, Paige and Kyson have a beautiful homestead, and their biogas digester is an inspiration. I would have never thought in a million years that you can cook with your own waste, which is just as cool as cooking your food with the sun, which if you haven't gone around to yet on your homestead, you're going to want to check out this video right here. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the tour. If you did, leave a comment below. I'll see you next time. Aloha.